Alright guys, first and foremost, thank you so much for clicking on today's video. I do truly appreciate it, and if you're new to the channel, welcome. I appreciate you being here as well. Now, in today's video, I thought it'd be a great idea to talk about Ganyu once more, because I'm super excited about this character to drop in the game. I don't know about you guys, I don't know if you can tell, but I wanted to speak about the weapons for Ganyu and what might be the most applicable, or what you may be wanting to look for if you do go for her and eventually able to pull her, what type of weapon you should put on her. So we're going to talk about that in today's video. I do hope you enjoy. I hope you like what you see. And let's go ahead and jump straight into it. Now, I do apologize. I know my camera's blocking some of the description here when it comes to the weapons, but we'll talk about the 4 stars and the 5 stars, starting with the 5 stars because I think that's what you guys want to know the most. And out of the 5-star weapons, in my opinion, I think the Fuvonius Bow is going to be probably the best one. You have the substat at attack percentage, and if you take a look at the skill, increases normal and charge attack damage by 12%, normal and charge attack damage increase by 8% every 0.1 seconds for up to 5 times. So if you take a look at Ganyu, obviously what she's going to be known for as that new mechanic is that charge level 2, where she fires off that frostbreak arrow and deals that cryo damage. So obviously that's something that you're going to be wanting to do quite often, because as you can see in my last video, we talked about the percentage on that. With that frostbreak arrow damage, you're doing 205% rounding up, and then for the frostbreak arrow bloom damage, it's going to be a whopping 348%. So that's something that you're going to be wanting to do a lot, is that charge. And so the Fuvonius Bow starts to become a very ideal weapon for her. So Fuvonius Bow is something that is going to be probably the one you're going to be wanting to go for, or the one that you're going to be wanting to look into. Now, massive shout out really quickly to Honey Hunter World once again for this information. They have both the beta and the live. So right now we're looking at the beta. So if you look at the live, just to show you the difference, if you look at the live, oh, never mind, it has it here. Before it didn't have it here, the Dreams of Dragonfell. So it has it here. So we're going to be taking a look at that as well, because that's probably the weapon banner that's going to be coming, not confirmed, just speculating here. But the Dreams of Dragonfell is the new one that we have right here. Let me see if I can just blow it up really quickly. Yeah, so this one right here is probably going to be the new one coming in the weapon banner with Ganyu, and it's very similar to like the Summit Shaper that we have for the one-handed sword for Albedo that's going on, or the Vortex Vanquisher that was there for Zhongli, or that really good claymore that's applicable for Jin Yan. I forgot the name of it. But this one does, I believe, the exact same thing. And let me look at the live version. Increases shield strength by 20%. Scoring hit on opponents increases attack by 4% for 8 seconds. Max 5 stacks. Can only occur once every 0.3 seconds. I don't think this is going to be the most applicable. But if you have a Geo character, obviously, on your team, you're able to generate some shields. Then this may be a, decently good option to go with. I don't know if it's going to be all that great in my opinion, but it could be an option if you're able to pull it, or if it does come in the weapon banner with Ganyu. This might be one that if you pull it, you can apply it to her, slap a Geo character on your team, get those shields going, and see how it works. I mean, you could be doing some pretty good damage there. So just wanted to go ahead and mention that, as that is probably the new one that's going to be coming. I'm going to go back to the live version here because I was on the beta. So if we go back to the live version, so I think the Fuvonius Bow is going to be the most applicable. Dreams of Dragonfell could be an interesting option to take a look at. The Skyward Harp. Now, the thing I like about the Skyward Harp is the substat of the crit rate percentage. I think the way you're going to want to build Ganyu is with crit rate, because if you take a look at her, and I mentioned this in the last video as well, we went ahead and looked at this also, is that her scaling for the stat progression is crit damage. So she's naturally going to have good crit damage associated with her. So if you can start building crit rate, I think that's going to be the best way to go ahead about it. Attack, crit rate, obviously, with her. So having a weapon with the substat of crit rate, I think is going to be really good option. Probably a more beneficial one than just flat out attack percentage, even though that's going to be a good one as well. So, the Fuvonius Bow having attack, that's not bad, but I think crit rate is the way you're going to want to start building her, along with the attack. But in this one, I don't think the Skyward Harp is going to be all that great with her. I mean, of course, it's going to be fantastic. Don't get me wrong. And if you have it and, not the Fuvonius Bow, then definitely put that on her, but because it increases the crit damage by 20%, she's already going to have naturally high crit damage, and then hits have a 60% chance to inflict a small AoE attack, dealing 125% physical attack damage. So I don't know if this is going to be the most beneficial, but it is still going to be a good one to go ahead and put on her because of that crit rate percentage, and you know, it is a good skill nonetheless, right? Now I did want to speak about the Iridescent as well. Once again, that substat at the crit rate I think is going to be really good. This one, upon hit, normal and aimed shot attacks have a 50% chance to generate a cyclone, which will continuously attract surrounding opponents, dealing 40% of attack as damage to these opponents every 0.5 seconds for 4 seconds. This is the one that you get from the battle pass, and I think this is going to be a good one if you, once again, don't have any other options. You don't have any of the other 5-star bows. I think this one is going to be a pretty decent one to go ahead and put on her. Albeit, I don't think it's going to be the most beneficial, but it will still definitely work. So you could try that one out on her as well. The Sacrificial Bow, I don't think this is going to be one that you're going to want to use on her because the E is just her taunt ability. If you take a look, if you're just not aware, just in case. It's a taunt ability, but it does do the AoE cryo damage, but I don't think it's one that you're going to have to refresh per se. The cooldown is 10 seconds. It's not that bad, and it lasts for 6 seconds. So, you know, shortly after it ends, you're going to have it back. So I don't think it's one that you necessarily need to be popping all the time anyways. So I think the Sacrificial Bow wouldn't be the best one. And then if we take a look at the Rust, once again, I don't think the Rust is going to be great on her as well because it increases normal attack damage by 40% but decreases charge attack damage by 10%. It's kind of counterintuitive to how you're going to want to use Ganyu, so I don't know about the Rust. I think you should skip on that one. The Royal Bow with the substat of attack percentage upon damaging an opponent increases crit rate by 8%. Max 5 stacks, a crit hit removes all stacks. So the Royal Bow is interesting because of that crit rate stacking. I think this could be a sneaky good option to try on her and see how it works. Once again, with all of these weapons, it takes testing to try them out and see how they work. Right now, we're just going off of what's on paper and kind of theorizing how it might work with her. But I think the Royal Bow, it would be one to try if you, once again, don't have anything else. Now, the prototype Crescent with the substat of attack percentage, charge attack hits on weak points increases movement speed by 10% and attack by 36% for 10 seconds. Once again, it could be good. I don't like that niche thing of having to hit a weak point to be able to get those benefits. I've never been a real big fan of that. But once again, you can try it out. It's definitely going to help with boosting her attack percentage. So, you know, once again, you can try it out and see how it works. Now, the Fuvonius Warbow, crit hits have a 60% chance to generate a small amount of elemental particles, which will regenerate 6 energy for the character, basically making her a spam ult character, which it depends. Like, if you get her constellation, like, if you get her to, like, C4, then this one can be a sneaky good option as well, because C4... opponent standing within the AoE of the Celestial Shower takes increased damage. This strengthens over time. So this is something that you're going to want to be popping ult all the time because of that. So that would be an interesting one. But outside of that, if you don't have her like C4, I don't know about this one, the Fuvonius Warbow. Once again, because I don't think Ganyu is a spam ulter like Zhongli or some other characters like Venti, but if you had her C4, that ultimate or elemental burst can be very, very interesting. And then moving on to the compound bow, physical damage percentage for the substat. Normal attack and charge attack hits increase attack by 4% and normal attack speed by 1.2% for 6 seconds with a max of 4 stacks. This one's interesting, and you can definitely try this one out. I think it can be decently good. I would have to test this one to see how well it would work. But in my opinion, I think I would rather go with maybe like... for the 4-star, maybe the Iridescent. I mean, it's not bad. Or even the next one that we're going to speak about, which is the Blackcliff Warbow with the crit damage percentage, which that is not the greatest substat. After defeating an opponent, attack is increased by 12% for 30 seconds. This one could be an interesting one because you get a maximum of 3 stacks, and it could definitely help to boost her attack percentage up. I don't like the substat being crit damage because she's already scaling with crit damage, like I said, but it's one that you can definitely try and see. I think it'd be good to go ahead and use on her over maybe the compound bow. Once again, I would have to test it and see. Now, the Alley Hunter is one that I had my eye on, which I thought was pretty interesting because it has a substat of crit rate for one, and then every 4 seconds a character is on the field, their attack increased by 4%, and their crit damage increases by 4%. This effect has a maximum of 5 stacks. So this one I think could be very, very interesting because of that substat being crit rate, and you're getting that attack increase as well. The Alley Hunter, if you have it, I definitely would try it out to see how it works. And then the Stringless, I don't think the Stringless is going to be all that great for her. The Elemental Skill and Elemental Burst damage by 24%. It's always nice, but I don't think for Ganyu it's super necessary for her. I mean, yeah, I don't think it's super necessary. So in my opinions, out of the ones that I think are going to be the most applicable for Ganyu, I think the Amos Bow is going to be the most applicable weapon to try on her. After that, probably the Skyward Harp, and then Dreams of Dragonfell if you had a Geo character to provide you those shields. When it comes to the 4-star weapons, I think the Iridescent Hunt, the Blackcliff Warbow, the Compound Bow you could definitely try and see how that works. The Prototype Crescent you can try and see how that works as well. The Royal Bow would be very interesting. And then the Alley Hunter would be the ones that I would go for. I would probably steer clear of the Rust, Sacrificial, maybe Sacrificial. Nah, I don't think it's necessary. I would steer clear of the Sacrificial, the Rust, and Stringless you can try and see how that works. Especially if you have, once again, if you have her as C4. Yeah, so those are my takes on it. Those are the ones that I think are going to be the most applicable. Those are the ones that I think you should at least look and test into if you have them available. Because once again, Ganyu, you're definitely going to be wanting to do those charge attacks. She scales off of crit damage. Her attack is the highest attack stat, base attack stat out of bow users. So she's going to be great, man. And I'm super excited. I cannot wait. I hope this video was slightly informative and it slightly helped you out. But anyways, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Remember to stand out, be different, have fun, go further beyond in everything that you do. And until next time, my boys, until next time, it's your homie Cody, and I'm out. Bye, guys.